हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम बैक टू वंदना's ट्यूटोरियल। आज हम करने वाले हैं क्लास 8 इंग्लिश 3.3 द लास्ट लीफ के डाइजेस्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स। इसके पहले हम 3.2 तक कर चुके हैं। अगर आपने वो वीडियोस नहीं देखे तो ज़रूर से देखिएगा। प्लेलिस्ट का लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगा। तो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं 3.3 द लास्ट लीफ के डाइजेस्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स। सबसे पहले हमें दिया गया है वार्मिंग अप। Supposing you are suffering from a long-term illness at 1 or 2 weeks, fill up the table of do's and don'ts. So go to a doctor for diagnosis. Do not try any medication on your own. Take medicines on time. Do not avoid medications on time. Take a suitable diet. Avoid junk food. Take rest. Avoid physical stress and exertion. Rest in properly ventilated room. Do not close doors and windows. Have cheerful thoughts, courage, a positive attitude, and do not lose hope and courage. And after that, question number 2, make pairs of sentences of your own to point out the difference meaning of the following paragraph. Fine. The new driver had to pay a fine for breaking the signal. We decided to go for a picnic only if the day was fine. Then the wave. Ronnie waved to his father before going for the picnic. The waves in the sea before the tsunami were huge. Then bear. The grizzly bear hibernates during winter. Simi couldn't bear to see the two cats fighting. Rose. The rose is a beautiful flower. The teacher rose from her chair to explain the sum. Lead is used in pencils. A good king leads his country to prosperity. Match. Though we lost the match, we were not upset. Buy the shoes only if they match the dress, said mother to Madhu. Second, every second counts when we are when we are writing an examination paper. Take the second turn on the right, directed the policeman. Object. The lawyer objected to what the witness said. The objects on the table were taken away before the girl could see them properly. Then reading skills, vocabulary and grammar. So simple factual activities. So first one is right or wrong. Sue and Johnsy were very close friends. Right. Sue was a rich girl. Wrong. Johnsy was hopeful that she would live. Wrong. Johnsy was suffering from a dreadful illness, pneumonia. Right. Correct the following statement. Sue and Johnsy were good neighbors. Sue and Johnsy were very good friends. Johnsy was eager to recover from her illness. Johnsy had made up her mind that she was not going to recover. Sue ignored Johnsy completely. Sue looked after Johnsy well. Then we'll move to passage 1. So meanings are given here that you can read by pausing the video. Then complex factual activities. What did the doctor tell Sue about Johnsy? The doctor told Sue that the Johnsy had one chance in 10. That chance was for Johnsy to want to live. And Johnsy had made up her mind that she was not going to get well. He also told Sue that medicines alone would not help if the patient did not want to live. Describe the ivy vine outside the window. Outside the window there was an old ivy vine, gnarled and decayed at the roots. It had climbed halfway up the brick wall. It had lost most of its leaves due to the cold autumn. Only a few bare branches were left, clinging to the bricks. Then activities based on vocabulary. Read the passage and choose the appropriate meanings. Here they have given us directly answers. So struggling artists trying hard to earn a living. Skeleton branches, bare branches. Then make pairs of sentences to show the difference between the meanings of the following homographs from the passage. First is interest. The bank promised a high rate of interest to its customers. The audience soon lost its interest in the boring match. The well was so deep that one could not see the water. The principal sent Sumit home as he was not feeling well. Activities based on contextual grammar. In the sentence given below, pick out the main clause, the subordinate clause, and the subordinator. So first is there was a colony where many struggling artists lived. Main clause, there was a colony. Subordinate clause, where many struggling artists lived. Subordinator is where. Those who looked after her very well, Johnsy showed no signs of improvement. Main clause, Johnsy showed no signs of improvement. Subordinate clause, though Sue looked after her very well, and subordinator is though. Sue thought that she had fallen asleep. Main clause, Sue thought. Subordinate clause, that she had fallen asleep. Subordinator is that. Then personal response. What type of attitude should a person have when he or she is ill? When a person is ill, he or she should have a positive attitude. He or she should have cheerful thoughts and courage and try to keep the mind occupied. Only then will medication help. Read the following passage carefully and complete the activities, simple factual activities. So first, true or false? Johnsy kept counting the leaves on the ivy vine. True. Johnsy had made broth for Sue. False. Old Behrman was a successful painter. False. Old Behrman served as a model to the young artist. True. Then we'll move to passage 2. You can see the glossary. Then complex factual activities are here. Explain the false belief that Johnsy had about the ivy vine. Johnsy felt that when the last leaf fell off from the ivy vine, she too would die. Who was Behrman? Explain why Sue called him to their flat. Behrman was a struggling painter who lived on the ground floor of the building where Sue and Johnsy lived. He served as a model for the young artist in the colony. Sue called him to their flat to act as a model for the old man that she was drawing. Then activities based on vocabulary. Read the passage and choose the appropriate meaning. So, wielded the brush, painted skillfully, masterpiece, an exceptionally beautiful work of art. Then, make pairs of sentences to show the difference between the meanings of the following homographs from the story. Left. When Roma turned to her left, she saw a long line of taxis. The mayor had left before it began to rain. Just. The children had just left when the magician arrived. It is the duty of a judge to be just. Then activities based on contextual grammar. In the sentence given below, pick out the main clause, subordinate clause, and the subordinator. Old Behrman was a painter who lived on the ground floor. So main clause is Old Behrman was a painter. Subordinate is who lived on the ground floor. Subordinator is who. Then I want to see the last one before it falls. Main clause, I want to see the last one. Subordinate clause, before it falls, and subordinator is before. Personal response. Do you think that Johnsy was talking nonsense, or did she have some forewarning that she would die? I think that the Johnsy was talking nonsense. How can the number of leaves on an ivy vine indicate when she was going to die? This is just having negative thoughts when the mind is idle and frightened. Then read the following passages carefully and complete the activities. Simple factual activities are given here. Write whether the following statements are right or wrong. Behrman did not know anything about the last leaf on the ivy. Wrong. Behrman promised that someday he would paint a masterpiece and then they would all go away. It's right. Right. Who said to whom? Open the window. Johnsy to Sue. She is very ill and weak. Sue to Behrman. I have not heard of such a thing. Behrman. Sue. It is the last one. Johnsy to Sue. Then we'll move to passage 3. You can see the glossary. Then complex factual activities. What happened that night? What did the two friends see when the window was open? That night it rained and snowed. A fierce wind blew. When the window was open, the two friends saw one ivy leaf still clinging to the vine. It was dark green near the stem, but its edges were tinted with yellow. It hung from a branch some 20 feet above the ground. What did Johnson declare when she saw the last ivy leaf? When Johnson saw the last ivy leaf, she decided that it would fall that day and she would die at the same time. Activity based on vocabulary. Make pairs of sentences to show the difference between the meanings of the passage of the following homograph from the passage. Mind your language, said the man to the rude young boy angrily. We should try not to have any negative thoughts in our mind. Write the words given below in the proper columns. So nouns, adjectives and adverbs. Pause the video and write it. After that, activities based on a contextual grammar is given here. In the sentence, you have to find out the main clause, subordinate clause and the subordinator. So I'll just tell you the directly answer. So main clause is Johnson was sleeping. Subordinate, when the two went upstairs. Subordinate, when. Main clause, Johnson was staring at the closed window. Subordinate, when Sue woke up. Subordinator, when. Then personal response. Do you believe that the things are lucky or unlucky for you? Do you think such fancies turn out to be true? No, I don't believe in luck or things being lucky or unlucky. I know that we must have a scientific attitude in life. It is only hard work and sincerity that matter. Nothing will be lucky for me if I don't study hard. Then simple factual activities, right or wrong. Burman was a hard-hearted person. Wrong. The last leaf fell off during the rain. Right. Johnsy realized that her thinking was wrong. Right. Johnsy felt that it was right to want to die. It's wrong. Correct the following statement. Burman was a very heartless person. Burman was very kind-hearted person. The real ivy leaf did not fall off at all. The real ivy leaf fell off the night it rained and snowed. The last leaf was a real leaf that survived. The last leaf was a leaf painted on the wall by Berman. Then passage 6. To answer first, what change came over Johnsy the next day? Why? Johnsy now felt that she had been wicked earlier and it was a sin to want to die. She wanted to sit up in bed and was ready to have broth and milk. She looked forward to the future and hoped to paint the way of Naples someday. It was the sight of the last leaf staying on the vine that was the reason for her change. Explain what happened to Mr. Berman. Mr. Berman had gone out the rain and snow to paint the last leaf on the wall. He had got thoroughly wet and became ill with pneumonia. He died in the hospital 2 days later. Who had saved Johnson's life and now how? Mr. Berman had saved Johnson's life. He had realized that Johnson had a fancy that she would die after the last leaf fell. He wanted to make certain that the last leaf never fell, and hence he painted a false leaf on the wall. The sight of the persistent leaf, which Johnson thought was real, made her come to her sense and want to live. Then describe the following in your own words. First one is Berman. Berman was a struggling painter who lived on the ground floor of the building where Sue and Johnson lived. He was a failure in the art, for though he had been painting for 40 years, he had not made any money. He always dreamt about painting a masterpiece and often spoke about it, but had never got round of doing it. He served as a model for the young artist in the colony who could not afford other models. He was shocked when he heard about Johnson's fancy and thought that the place was not good for her. He was a generous, compassionate, and kind hearted man. Even though he was old, he braved the wind, rain, and snow to go out and paint the last leaf on the wall. He died in order to that Johnson could live. The last leaf that Johnson saw, The last leaf that Johnsy saw was not a real leaf but a leaf painted on the wall by Burman. It was dark green near its stem, but its edges were tinted with yellow. It hung from a branch some 20 feet above the ground. Naturally, it never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Burman's masterpiece and had been painted the night when the real last leaf had fallen. Then activity based on vocabulary, read the passages and choose the appropriate meaning. So the first one is palette, a board used by artists to mix colors. Then write the past participles of the following words. So fall, fallen, flutter, fluttered, strong, strengthened, bring, brought. Activities based on contextual grammar, rewrite the following in indirect speech. So it's given here, this is the question and you can see the answers by pausing the video. You can pause the video and write this answer. The next is in the sentence given below, pick out main clause, subordinate clause and the subordinator. So directly answer main clause, she had painted it there that night. Subordinate, when the last leaf had fallen. Subordinator is when. Then we'll move to personal response. What do you think about Mr. Burman? Mr. Burman was a generous, compassionate and kind-hearted man. Even though he was old, he braved the wind, rain and snow to go out and paint the last leaf on the wall. He died in order that Johnsy could live. Then language study activities. Pick out the two words from the lesson whose first letter is silent, pneumonia and gnarled. Use the following phrase in your own sentence. Above the ground. During monsoon, the clouds are just a few feet above the ground in Ooty. Add two letters before the given word to form three separate words. Own, brown, crown, drown. Find out the four hidden words. So, twilight, light, tight, wit, tilt. Use the following word and its homophones in two separate sentences. On. It is difficult to earn a living if you are illiterate. I placed the flowers in an urn and poured water into it. Then हमारा आता है pick out the main clause, subordinate one. Medicines alone did not help if the patient did not wish to live. Medicines alone did not help. Main clause. If the patient did not wish to live, it's subordinate clause. Then rewrite the indirect speech. She ordered Sue to open the window as she wanted to see. Sue obeyed. Then pick out the non-finite. He always talked of his coming masterpiece. Coming is present participle. Rewrite as an affirmative. So answer is, आप देख सकते हैं questions. In those days, it was difficult to cure pneumonia patient. Rewrite using the positive form of the adjective. They are falling faster now. They were not falling as fast as this before. Then state the facts about the story. Main character Sue Johnsy, the doctor and Burman problem. आप इसे वीडियो पॉज करके देख सकते हैं और आंसर्स लिख सकते हैं. So second problem is given. Then third one is attempts made to solve. Pause the video and write it. Then climax, turning point. Then comes problem solved. And after that comes an end. Then compose an imaginary dialogue between Sue and Johnsy when they realized about what Burman had done for Johnsy. So Johnsy, Sue, did you know that Mr. Burman had painted that last leaf? No, I knew. No, I knew it just now too. Johnsy, Sue, that means that he got wet that night painting the last leaf? Sue, and got pneumonia after that? Johnsy, yes, because of my stupid fancy that I would die when the last leaf fell. Sue, it certainly was a stupid idea. Johnsy, I feel so guilty now. Sue, it is as if he died for me. Sue, yes, so that you may live. Johnsy, oh, what a wonderful, compassionate man. To go out in that cold, wintry, snowy night just to paint that leaf and develop pneumonia. Johnsy, what can I do now? How can I ever thank him? I know what you can do. What? So you paint your masterpiece of the Bay of Naples and dedicate it to him. John says, yes, I think that's a good idea. Yes, I will do that. Thanks, Sue. सो बच्चों इसी के साथ में हमने द लास्ट लीफ के डाइजेस्टिव क्वेश्चन आंसर्स फिनिश किए. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम करने वाले हैं 3.4 लेजर के क्वेश्चन आंसर्स. तब तक टेक केयर एंड कीप वॉचिंग वंदनास ट्यूटोरियल एंड डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू सब्सक्राइब माय चैनल. थैंक यू.